Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Today, we're dissecting a massive, highly anticipated roster drop, Portugal's finalized World Cup 2026 squad. And right off the bat, I gotta tell you, there are 3 selections in this squad that literally nobody saw coming, and a drastically new role for arguably the greatest goal scorer of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo.
So that brings us to the ultimate question we're answering today. Is this finally Portugal's year to lift the trophy, or are we just setting up for Ronaldo's final heartbreak on the world stage? Okay, let's dive into this, because breaking down this squad unit by unit is going to reveal exactly how far they can go in 2026. Grab your notebooks, because the tactical shifts here are absolutely fascinating.
Section 1, the defensive wall, the secret weapon of the 2026 squad.
Now, it might surprise you that we're starting at the back, but honestly, this genuinely top 5 defensive unit is absolutely their secret weapon for going deep in this tournament. Look at this number, 78%. That is Diogo Costa's save percentage in the Champions League this season. He's firmly established himself as one of Europe's premier shot stoppers. And having that elite presence between the posts is basically the baseline requirement for any deep World Cup run. Costa provides exactly that security.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the number 0. Why 0? Because starting center back Ruben Dias hasn't lost a single one-on-one competitive defensive duel since March 2025. Yeah, let that sink in. 0. That is an absolutely insane statistic. The man is a literal wall at the back, anchoring this entire defensive unit and making it almost impossible for attackers to isolate him. And flanking that literal wall, we've got a really fascinating contrast at fullback. On the right, we have João Cancelo. Sure, he brings a little bit of controversy following his Manchester City exit, but there's no denying he remains one of the most dynamic attacking fullbacks in world football. Contrast that with Nuno Mendes on the left, whose game is defined by pure pace and incredible delivery into the box. So capping off this defensive unit, you've got a group that can absolutely guarantee clean sheets. And we all know, clean sheets pave the way to finals.
Section 2, a transformed midfield, the strongest area of the pitch.
This is exactly where the Portuguese squad has completely transformed since 2022. Inside this midfield engine room, we see a perfectly balanced trio. Vitinha is the heartbeat, Bruno Fernandes is the creative engine, and João Neves is the 20-year-old future who's already playing like a seasoned veteran. Because this midfield is so incredibly dominant and does all the heavy lifting, it fundamentally changes how Portugal attacks. Specifically, Ronaldo no longer needs to drop deep to retrieve the ball. The midfield does all that work for him.
Let's zoom in on Vitinha for a sec to really understand why he's the heartbeat. 94% passing accuracy this season for PSG. He covers immense ground, more than any other Portuguese player on the roster. In a short tournament where games are won and lost in those gritty, exhausting midfield battles, Vitinha is an absolute game changer who just keeps possession ticking perfectly.
And right in front of him, you've got Bruno Fernandes. Look at the number 22. That is his Premier League goal contributions this season alone. Love him or hate him, Fernandes is a creative force who can conjure high-quality chances out of thin air. Combine him with the youthful brilliance of Neves, and you have a midfield that'll dictate the tempo against almost anyone they face.
Section 3, the attack and the super sub, Ronaldo's new reality.
Okay, moving into the forwards. This is where the tactical strategy gets incredibly interesting. First, let's look at the starting wingers. Just like the fullbacks, we have a brilliant, complementary contrast. On one side, Rafael Leão. He offers electric pace and is practically impossible to defend in open space. He'll be Portugal's most dangerous weapon on the counterattack. Actually, maybe one of the most dangerous in the entire tournament. On the other side, Pedro Neto. Highly underrated, incredibly clinical, and brilliant in tight areas. Together, they stretch the opposition's defense perfectly, creating massive gaps in the middle.
And then there's Cristiano Ronaldo, 41 years old. 938 career goals. Just let that colossal number sink in for a moment. It's staggering, right? But I'm highlighting this massive number to visually set up his contrasting, brand new reality in this 2026 squad.
So the crucial point is this definition right here, the closer. Ronaldo is not the main man anymore. Manager Roberto Martinez has designated him as the ultimate super sub. He's the player you bring on in the last 20 minutes when the opposition's legs are dead tired and the team desperately needs a finishing goal. It is a highly specialized, absolutely crucial role.
Naturally, this begs a massive question. Does this new role hurt Ronaldo's ego? The tactical analysis suggests the answer is absolutely. But is it the right decision for the team's balance? 100% yes. And the truth is, deep down, Ronaldo knows it too.
He wants that World Cup trophy more than anything else in the world, and he will accept any role, even coming off the bench, just to get it.
Section 4, 2026 Tournament Prediction. The Final Quest.
Okay, so we have the impenetrable defensive wall, the beautifully transformed midfield, and Ronaldo mapped out as the ultimate closer. So, how far does Portugal actually go? With a squad this perfectly balanced between youth and experience, expectations are sky high. Let's trace their exact roadmap.
Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds across the tournament. Group stage, they win the group, no question. Round of 16, a very comfortable win. Now the quarterfinal is where it gets highly dangerous. If they hit a juggernaut like France or Brazil, the run could end right there. But if the draw is kind, they reach the semifinal. And here is where the cinematic script gets written. Ronaldo comes off the bench as the closer, scores the winning goal, and the entire world loses its mind. As for the final, well, that depends heavily on the opponent. The analysis suggests they'd lose to Argentina, but they'd actually win against England.
Taking all those probabilities and tactical realities into account, here is the definitive prediction. Portugal finishes in third place. Cristiano Ronaldo completely embraces his closer role, comes off the bench throughout the tournament, scores 3 crucial goals, and finally retires from international football on his own terms. That is the exact story the data and the squad dynamics point to.
Now I'm turning it over to you, focused learners. Where do you see Portugal finishing? But more importantly, consider this. If Ronaldo accepts this diminished role and they still fall short, does it tarnish his legacy? Or does it prove that even the greatest individuals eventually have to bow to the ultimate team game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We'll be breaking down a new squad explainer every single day until June 11th, so make sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and keep learning.